Welcome back to Athletic Everyday, day number 234 sprint session with a little bit of lower body accessories as well as some attempts at doing some flips. For the sprints, I just wanted to do minimum effective dose. I know that I needed to sprint because I haven't sprinted in a while, and my legs weren't feeling the best after those squats yesterday, but I knew that I could have a productive sprint session if I just kept it a very, very low volume and decently high intensity. Obviously, sprints are always high intensity. So what you're watching here are some build-up sprints. I did 3 sets of probably something like 40 meters, just gradually building up the speed to the point where maybe the last 10 meters are like a full sprint. This is a really good way to warm up for sprinting without having to go through all the crazy levels of mobility, all the exercises to the nth degree, high skips, A skips, B skips, C skips. You can just more or less get straight into it by gradually building up the speed. The 4 sets of 20 is the top sets, making sure that I did a couple of start variants, and then because my legs weren't feeling under me today, the flips weren't really going as well as I wanted them to. But the plus side is that I found that I've got an area here now where I can practice flipping. There's all these pads here just on the inside of the athletics track. I was really hoping to get another Webster today, but I didn't land a single one properly. I mean, I guess you could maybe count that one. I didn't put my hands down, but my butt hit the floor first. For some reason, I think it's because as I jump, I'm sort of dipping my head too quickly and I'm not extending enough after I jump off that leg. But hey, look, at least I had the balls to try them today. Even if I landed on these mats, it would still hurt. And then afterwards, I decided to use the padding of the crash mat, to do some front flips as well. So a couple back flips, some Webster attempts, and then a few front flip attempts as well. So that's definitely an area that I'm going to start to utilize more so that I can practice my flips and my tricking. Then for the lower body accessories training, I decided that I would finally do some reverse Nordics and just progress them a little bit further. I really, really enjoy this. I like the stretch that I get on my quads when I do this, as well as my hip flexors. And the range of motion that you can get at the knee here is pretty much maximal. It's the most range of motion out of any leg movement that I think you can. In terms of the quad engagement as well, because what you got to remember with the quads is that not only do they extend the knee, but they also flex the hip. The rectus femoris also flexes the hip. So if you have your hip in a fully extended position and your knee in a fully flexed position, then that means you're going to get the full stretch across the entirety of your quadriceps muscles, which is why the reverse Nordic is such a useful exercise to learn to get good at. It's also good for improving knee tendon pain because it trains the tendons through a full range of motion. Once you've reached the point where the tendons aren't sore anymore, then you can start to look to doing more isotonic movements, very slow, controlled, full range of motion movements with decent heavy weight to help to train that tendon back up to accept force again. And then lastly, I finished up with some hamstring, bent leg, seated hamstring curls. Again, if you look at the hamstring muscle, the hip, if the hip is in a fully flexed position or a mostly flexed position and the knee is in a mostly extended position, then you're going to get that most stretch on the hamstring possible. For the last set here, you're looking at me doing some 2 down 1 ups to get a little bit of eccentric overload on those hamstring muscles. And then that is pretty much it for today's workout, guys. Really appreciate the view if you made it to this point. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.